Hi everyone, welcome to Thursday. Now, recently I've been running through a little bit of a theme and looking at the SmartShares or the Smart Invest options that are available for anyone that wants to have their money invested within New Zealand, but giving exposure to overseas companies or currencies and the likes. Today's no different. We're going to look at an infrastructure company. Before I share my screen, just remember that this is for educational purposes only. No way is it intended to be personalised financial advice. For that, you do need to go and have a chat to your own financial advisor. Right, let's take a look at Smart Invest. So I've got smartinvest.co.nz up on the screen. If you're looking to see what funds are available, you can either click on this Invest with Us, click on Smart ETFs, and then it talks about them, what they are and things, and then it brings down a sector. So you can see here there's New Zealand, Australian, US, all sorts. Now, for the purpose of this, I've been looking at the thematic shares. So let's take a look on there. And I've already done a video on Bitcoin, gold, and the healthcare options. Today I thought I would do the infrastructure one. So let's just click on this. And this is where you can go to do more research if you like. So you can see here that it tracks the return of the FTSE, so it's the FTSE Developed Core Infrastructure Fund, and it is 100% hedged back to New Zealand dollars. So you're taking out that currency risk. So even though the share is in New Zealand dollars, it's also hedged back to New Zealand dollars. So it means that no matter what's happening with the currency, if it's being bought at $1, it will come back at that same price. Now, this fund has been running for about 2.5 years. You can see it started on the 29th of June 2023. So there's not a lot of data, but if you keep scrolling down and you want to see what this fund is actually holding, you can see here what the top 10 holdings are. So it's heavily exposed here to the iShares Core FTSE Global Infrastructure, which itself is hedged to Australian dollars, but obviously Smart Invest are also hedging this back to New Zealand dollars. Gives you the ex-dividend dates and the likes, and if you're wanting to find the product disclosure statements or the other material information, here it is down here. So you can click on any of those and do further research. But let's just have a look and see what Yahoo's saying about it. I've got the 5-year chart up here on the screen, and to me, that's certainly not setting the world on fire at all. We've had the last 2 weeks in a row where it's been negative. For me, that would be something that I wouldn't carry on looking at any further. I don't want to see 2 negative weeks in a row. Doesn't mean to say that a share is not going to start performing and continue up. That's highly likely. It's just I do not look any further just for that week. You can see here that it did pay a dividend, or it went ex-dividend, and that's on the 24th of November. So that could be why this share did fall, because you do see that once a share goes ex-dividend, you quite often see the share prices will fall for a day or two, or even a couple of weeks afterwards. And the reason for that is because investors that are holding the shares up until the day that it goes ex-dividend, they're the ones that will actually receive the dividend on that share. Once you've sold it the day after it goes ex-dividend, quite often there is a fair bit of selling in there because people just want to collect the dividend. They no longer want to hold the share. And so that is quite common. Let's just put our moving averages on and see what they're telling us. We will pop on our 30 exponential, and that's okay there. The share is trading above that 30-week exponential moving average, so that's a good sign. It's tracking quite close to it, to be fair. We'll also put in our 15 period. Right, and you can see here the share, because it closed down on Friday, you can actually see that close was below the 15 period moving average. So again, that would be a no for me. So that's 2 no's in a row we've got here for the Global Infrastructure Fund. Let's just click on the 1-year chart and see what's happening there as well. Now, on the 1-year chart, because it brings these candles up to dailies, everything is responding a little bit more quickly. And you can actually see that the moving averages have crossed. So that 15-day moving average is now below the 30-day moving average. And not only that, the share is trading below it. So that in itself is something that I would definitely want to avoid. Yes, it's a faster moving average, However, when shares fall beneath those moving averages, or any moving average for that matter, that is a potentially negative sign. And for me, because I'm using the faster moving averages, 30 and 15 days, obviously it is quite responsive to what the share's happening. And with the share being below those, definitely not something that I want to go any further on. So there's been quite a few reasons as to why I wouldn't be buying this particular share. You do your own research. What I'm doing here is hopefully designed to help you out and help you with your investing journey and just cut out a fair bit of the noise. And speaking of noise, that's something I don't listen to. Is I do not listen to what people want to tell me as hot tips or something they know or something they've heard or anything like that. It's what I refer to as barbecue advice. List your own rules and then stick to them. And that's why I'm trying to educate you and help you with what I'm doing here. And I hope that it is adding some value. So anyway, I'll stop sharing. That's it for the infrastructure fund. Now, if there is a share that you would like me to review or any questions you've got on the share market, by all means do ask. I certainly try to get to everyone within a reasonable time, and I definitely do answer everybody, and I love your feedback. It really helps me to create more product like this. So anyway, until next week, take care.